One day, you may look back at your life and ask yourself, why did I wait so long? Maybe you had a dream, but you kept it for another day. Maybe you wanted to learn English, become healthier, save money, or simply feel happier, but you always found a reason to wait. You told yourself, I am too tired today. I have no time today. I will do it tomorrow. I think this is something many of us understand. We do not always avoid change because we are lazy. Sometimes we are simply afraid to begin. Tomorrow feels comfortable because we can imagine a better life without doing anything difficult right now. But there is one problem. When tomorrow arrives, it becomes today. And if you do nothing, you will probably make the same promise again. Welcome to English on this day. In this lesson, I want to talk with you about why waiting can keep you in the same place and how one small action can help you move forward. You do not need a perfect plan. You do not need to feel ready. You only need to begin. So stay with me and ask yourself one simple question. What can I change today? And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Part 1. Why you keep waiting. You already know what you need to do. You know you should study more English. You know you should exercise. You know you should start that project you've been putting off for weeks. But somehow you still have not started. Why does this happen? The first reason is simple. Change feels uncomfortable. When you are used to doing things a certain way, anything different feels strange and difficult. You know something is good for you, but starting it means leaving the familiar behind. And that feels harder than it sounds. The second reason is fear. Not a big, dramatic fear, just a quiet, everyday kind of fear. Fear of doing something wrong. Fear of not being good enough. Fear of what other people might think if they see you trying and failing. This kind of fear is very common, and it keeps a lot of people stuck in place. Then there's the idea of waiting for more time. You tell yourself you will start when life is less busy, when work slows down, when the kids are older, when the weekend comes. But time never clears itself the way you hope. There is always something else filling the space you were saving for yourself. Many people also wait until they feel ready. They believe that readiness is something that arrives before action. But this is not usually how it works. The feeling of being ready almost always comes after you have already started, not before. Waiting to feel ready is often just another way of waiting. And then there are the small excuses. Just one more day, just one more week. They do not feel like big decisions, but they add up quietly. One skipped English lesson becomes a week of nothing. One missed walk becomes a month without exercise. One book left unread becomes a year without learning. Think about the things you have been delaying. Maybe you keep telling yourself you will study English tomorrow. Maybe you say you will start exercising next Monday. Maybe you keep saying you will read that book when you have more free time. These sentences feel harmless, but every time you say them, you are choosing tomorrow over today. I do not think procrastination always comes from laziness. Sometimes you are tired. Sometimes you are overwhelmed. Sometimes you simply do not know where to begin. And that uncertainty is enough to stop you from doing anything at all. But here is what I believe. Most of the time, the real problem is not that you lack discipline or motivation. The real problem is that your starting point is too big. You are trying to begin with a perfect plan, a perfect schedule, a perfect version of yourself. And when none of that appears, you do nothing. The good news is that you do not need any of those things. You only need one thing, a smaller beginning, a first step so small that it feels almost too easy. Because an easy start is still a start, and a start is worth everything. Part 2. Tomorrow feels safe. There is something very comfortable about tomorrow. It does not ask anything of you right now. It sits quietly in the future, full of possibility, never demanding immediate action. You can think about tomorrow all you want without having to do a single thing today. This is why so many people live in tomorrow. They make plans for tomorrow. They promise themselves that tomorrow they will be better, more focused, more energetic, more ready. Tomorrow feels like a fresh start. It feels clean and full of hope. Today, on the other hand, is already partly used up. When you think about changing something, it feels easy. You imagine yourself exercising every morning. You picture yourself studying English for an hour each day. You see a better version of your life and it feels within reach. Thinking about change is comfortable because there is no risk in it. You cannot fail at something you have not started yet. But actually making a change is different. It requires action. It requires effort on a day when you might already feel tired or busy or uncertain. It opens the door to the possibility that things will not go perfectly. And that possibility is uncomfortable enough that many people prefer to stay in the planning stage. This is a trap that looks like preparation. You research the best way to learn English instead of actually listening to any English. You read articles about how to build better habits instead of building one. You watch videos about exercise programs instead of going for a walk. You are moving, but you are not moving forward. Think about something you have been meaning to start. Maybe you have been wanting to learn English more seriously. Have you spent more time thinking about how to learn it than actually practicing? Maybe you want to get healthier. Did you buy new workout clothes or new equipment but not yet use them regularly? This is the gap between thinking about change and actually changing. Thinking about change is not the same as changing. A plan that stays in your head has no real power. An idea you never act on cannot improve your life. The most beautiful intention in the world is worth less than one small action taken today, even if that action is imperfect. I think planning is genuinely useful. I'm not saying you should never think ahead, but a small action done today will always have more value than a large plan that never gets started. The distance between where you are now and where you want to be is not crossed by thinking. It is crossed by doing. Tomorrow will come. And when it arrives, it will become today. And you will face the same choice again. The only way out of that loop is to make a different choice right now. So ask yourself honestly, how many tomorrows have already passed? How many times have you told yourself that tomorrow would be the day? The answer to that question might be the most motivating thing you hear today. Part 3. The cost of waiting. Waiting feels harmless in the moment. One more day. One more week. It does not seem like a big decision, but waiting always has a cost. And over time, those costs add up in ways that are hard to ignore. The first cost is time. Every single day has 24 hours, and not a single one of them can be recovered once it has passed. When you wait 1 week to begin something, you have not paused time. You have simply given 7 days to something other than your goal. Those days are gone. They do not come back. The second cost is confidence. Every time you make a promise to yourself and then break it, something small happens inside you. You trust yourself a little less. You begin to wonder whether you will ever actually follow through. Over months and years of broken promises, this quiet loss of self-trust can become one of the biggest obstacles standing between you and the life you want. The third cost is that small problems grow. A habit you keep telling yourself you will fix keeps growing stronger. A skill you keep delaying keeps falling further behind. A gap in your knowledge becomes wider with every passing week. Small problems that could have been addressed easily become much harder to deal with because you waited too long. The fourth cost is lost opportunity. Some chances only come once. Some windows stay open only for a limited time. If you are always waiting to feel completely ready before you act, you may find that certain doors have quietly closed while you are preparing to walk through them. There is one more cost that people often forget. You cannot control tomorrow. You cannot control what will happen next week or next month. You cannot control other people, unexpected events, or how life will change around you. The only thing you can truly control is what you choose to do today, with the time and energy you have right now. Waiting for the perfect moment is a way of pretending that the future is more certain than it actually is. The future is not guaranteed. Today is what you have. And choosing to use it, even imperfectly, even in a small way, is infinitely better than spending it waiting for something better to arrive. I do not want you to feel afraid of time. That is not the point. The point is to use your time more consciously. To look at each day and ask yourself what one thing you could do today that your future self would thank you for. That question, asked honestly, can change the direction of your life. Waiting is not free. It costs you time, confidence, opportunities, and control. The longer you wait, the higher the price. The good news is that you can stop paying that price at any moment, including right now. Part 4. You do not need a perfect day. Many people are waiting for the right day to begin. The day when they have enough energy, enough time, enough money, and enough confidence all at once. The day when everything lines up perfectly and starting feels easy. But here is the truth. That day rarely comes. Life is not organized around your goals. Life is full, messy, and unpredictable. Some days you wake up tired even after 8 hours of sleep. Some days your schedule fills up in ways you did not expect. Some days you have problems that demand your attention before you have even finished your morning coffee. Waiting for all of that to disappear before you begin means waiting for something that will probably never happen. Perfect conditions are a myth. There will always be something that is not quite right. More money would help, but you do not have it yet. More energy would be ideal, but you feel tired today. More confidence would be wonderful, but you are still working on it. If you keep waiting for all these things to fall into place, you will keep waiting. What actually works is finding the smallest possible action you can take right now in the imperfect day you are actually living. Maybe you cannot study English for an hour today. But can you listen for 10 minutes? Maybe you cannot complete your entire workout. But can you take a 10-minute walk? Maybe you cannot read a whole chapter. But can you read 2 pages? Small progress is still progress. It might feel insignificant in the moment, but every small step you take is a vote for the person you are trying to become. Every 10-minute English session tells your brain that learning English is a normal part of your life. Every short walk tells your body that movement matters. These small actions build identity over time, and identity shapes behavior. Do not compare where you are with where others appear to be. Someone else might be on step 50 of their journey. You might be on step 1. That is fine. That is honest. Step 1 is exactly where you need to be if step 1 is where you are. The only thing that matters is that you are moving. And on the days when things go wrong, remember this. A bad day is not a bad life. One missed lesson does not erase the ones before it. One unhealthy meal does not cancel your progress. One difficult day does not define your direction. You are allowed to have hard days. You just do not have to let them become hard weeks or hard months. Progress is usually very quiet. It does not announce itself loudly. It does not always show up on the scale or in your test results or in the mirror right away. But it is happening beneath the surface. Every imperfect action you take on an imperfect day is building something real. And one day, you will look back and realize that those ordinary imperfect days were exactly how you got to where you wanted to be. You do not need the perfect day. You only need this day, the one you are in right now. Part 5. Start with one small thing. Here is the most practical advice I can give you. Choose one thing. Make it small. Do it today. That is the whole formula. Everything else builds from there. When people decide to change their lives, they often try to change everything at once. They make long lists and ambitious schedules. They plan to wake up earlier, exercise every day, eat perfectly, study for hours, and eliminate all their bad habits simultaneously. And then, within a week, they are exhausted and back to where they started. The goal was too big. The beginning was too hard. The solution is not to want less. The solution is to start smaller. With English, for example, the goal of becoming fluent is wonderful. But trying to study for 3 hours every day when you are just beginning is a recipe for burning out quickly. Instead, try something like this. Today, just listen to 10 minutes of English. That is your only job. 10 minutes, nothing more. With exercise, the goal of becoming fit and healthy is great. But committing to an intense daily workout when you have not been active in months is too much too fast. Start with something easier. Just walk for 10 minutes today. Walk outside if the weather allows, or inside if not. 10 minutes of movement is infinitely better than 0 minutes of movement. With reading, instead of planning to finish 5 books this month, simply open a book tonight and read 2 pages. Just 2. You might read more once you start, but 2 pages is all you are committing to. And 2 pages read is better than an entire book planned but never opened. The same principle works for money, for health, for relationships, for any area of your life you want to improve. Save a small amount today instead of planning a big financial overhaul. Take one quiet moment for your mental health instead of waiting until you have time for a full meditation practice. Remove one distraction from your evening instead of trying to completely transform your daily routine. Small does not mean useless. This is one of the most important things to understand. A small action taken consistently over time produces large results. The person who listens to 10 minutes of English every day will, without dramatic effort, hear hundreds of hours of English over the course of a year. The person who walks for 10 minutes every day will move their body thousands of times in the same period. I genuinely prefer small goals to big ones, especially at the beginning. Not because I do not believe in big dreams, I do. But small goals are easy to start, and starting is the hardest part. When you finish a small task, something shifts inside you. You feel a small sense of accomplishment. That feeling gives you energy to do the next small thing, and the next, and the next. This is how real, lasting change is built, not in one dramatic moment, but in many small moments, repeated consistently over a long period of time. Start small today, then do it again tomorrow. Part 6. Stop waiting for motivation. Many people believe that motivation is something that comes to you. You wait for it to arrive, and then, when you feel it, you act. But if you have been waiting for motivation for a while and it has not shown up consistently, there is a reason. Motivation does not work the way most people think it does. Motivation comes and goes. Some mornings you wake up feeling energized and ready to take on the world. Other mornings you wake up feeling heavy and uninspired. If you only act on the mornings when motivation is present, you will miss a very large portion of your life. You will be doing something only when the feeling is right, and the feeling is not always right. Here is something that works better. Action can create motivation. You do not have to feel motivated before you begin. You only have to begin. Open the lesson. Start the walk. Open the file. Do the first small step. Very often, once you have started, the motivation follows. Not always dramatically, but enough to keep you going for a few more minutes. Think about English practice. On a day when you feel uninspired, instead of waiting until you want to study, simply open the lesson. Press play. Listen for 5 minutes. Repeat one sentence out loud. That is all. Many times, those 5 minutes turn into 15 or 20 because once you are in motion, continuing is easier than stopping. The same is true for exercise. On a day when you do not feel like moving, just stand up. Stretch your arms above your head. Walk to the door and back. Walk outside for 5 minutes. More often than not, that small physical movement shifts your energy and your mood enough to keep you going. At work or with any project you have been avoiding, the technique is the same. Open the file or the document. Work on it for exactly 5 minutes. Set a timer if it helps. After 5 minutes, decide whether to continue. The act of opening and starting removes the biggest obstacle, which is not the task itself, but the resistance to beginning it. The important idea here is that you do not need to feel strong before you act. Sometimes acting is what makes you feel stronger. You do not need to feel confident before you try something. Sometimes trying is what builds the confidence. The feeling comes after, not before. And once you understand this, you stop waiting for feelings and start creating them through action. I love the idea of motivation. It is a wonderful thing when it shows up, but I do not want to depend on it completely. If I only work when I feel inspired, I will miss too many good days. Discipline is just motivation that has been practiced so many times it has become a habit. And habits do not wait for the right feeling. They just happen. Stop waiting for motivation. Take one small action. Let the action create the motivation you need. Part 7. Change your daily life. Your life is not made of big, dramatic moments. It is made of ordinary days, hundreds and thousands of them, one after another. And the quality of those ordinary days, the small choices you make inside them, determines the direction of your life more than any single big decision ever could. The morning is one of the most important parts of your day. Not because you have to do anything complicated, but because how you begin shapes how the rest unfolds. When you wake up, drink a glass of water before doing anything else. This small act signals to your body that the day has started and that you are taking care of it. Then, before you reach for your phone, take just 1 or 2 quiet minutes to think about the day ahead. Choose one important task for the day. Not 10. Not a list so long it overwhelms you before you begin. Just one thing that truly matters. Ask yourself, if I only accomplished one thing today, what would make this day feel meaningful? Then commit to that one thing. Everything else is a bonus. During the day, try to do your most challenging task first, when your energy and focus are at their peak. Take short breaks between tasks. Stand up, stretch, drink some water, step outside for a few minutes if possible. These breaks do not slow you down. They actually keep you going longer and thinking more clearly. And if you are learning English, which you are right now, try to include some English practice in your regular day. It does not have to be a formal study session. It can be listening to a podcast while you prepare food. It can be reading a few lines before bed. It can be repeating a sentence you heard and trying to use it in your own thinking. Language grows through daily contact, not through occasional bursts. Move your body at some point during the day. It does not have to be a structured workout. A 10-minute walk outside, some stretching in your room, a few minutes of movement between tasks. Your body affects your mind directly. When your body feels better, your thoughts are clearer, your mood is more stable, and your energy lasts longer. In the evening, create a small routine that helps you close the day properly. Put your phone away for at least 30 minutes before you sleep. Screens at night affect the quality of your rest more than most people realize. Use those quiet minutes to reflect on the day. Ask yourself 2 simple questions. What did I do well today? What can I do a little better tomorrow? These questions are not for self-criticism. They are for gentle, honest growth. When you take a moment to notice what went well, you reinforce positive patterns. When you notice what could improve, you set a small intention for tomorrow. This kind of quiet daily reflection, done consistently, is one of the most powerful tools for personal growth available to anyone. Your life is built from ordinary days. Making those days a little more intentional, a little more conscious, a little more aligned with who you want to become is all it takes. Not perfection, just a slightly better ordinary day, one at a time. Part 8. What you can do today. We have talked about why people wait, what waiting costs, and how to begin with something small. Now comes the most important part. Turning what you have heard into something you actually do today, before this day is over. Here is a simple challenge. Before you sleep tonight, do one thing you have been avoiding. Just one. You do not need to finish it completely. You do not need to do it perfectly. You only need to start it and work on it for 10 minutes. Set a timer if that helps. 10 minutes is all. Doing something imperfectly for 10 minutes is worth far more than doing nothing perfectly. Then do one healthy thing for your body today. It does not need to be intense. Walk around your neighborhood for a few minutes. Stretch your body for 5 minutes. Drink an extra glass of water. Eat one meal with a little more care than usual. Your body responds to even the smallest acts of kindness, and that response gives you energy for everything else. If you want to improve your English, today is a good day to practice. You are already listening right now, which counts. But you can go a little further. After this lesson ends, repeat one sentence you remember out loud. Try to use one new word in your thinking today. Or simply listen to one more short piece of English before you sleep. Small, consistent contact with the language is what builds real fluency over time. Remove one distraction from your evening. Put your phone in another room for 30 minutes. Turn off notifications that interrupt your focus. Close the social media app you check without thinking. This one act of removing a distraction creates space for something more valuable to happen. And that space is where real rest and real focus can live. Finally, make yourself one promise. Not a big, complex commitment. Just one small, specific promise that you will keep before tomorrow morning. Maybe it is to read one page of a book. Maybe it is to write down 3 things you are grateful for. Maybe it is simply to go to bed 30 minutes earlier than usual. Whatever it is, choose something you can actually do, and then do it. Here's the question I want to leave with you. What is one thing you can do before you go to sleep tonight? Not tomorrow. Tonight. Think about that question honestly and choose your answer carefully. Do not just listen to this video and move on to the next one. Let one idea from today become one action tonight. That is all it takes. You do not need to change everything. You do not need to become a completely different person before morning. You just need to do one thing that the you of yesterday would not have done. If I could give you only one piece of advice, it would be this. Do one small thing today. Not next week, not tomorrow morning, today. Your life does not change all at once. It changes one small decision at a time. And every small decision you make in the right direction is a step toward the life you actually want. Tomorrow is not where you live. You live today. This moment right now is the only moment you actually have access to. Tomorrow is a promise that has not been kept yet. Today is real. And what you do with today matters more than any plan you make for tomorrow. You do not need a perfect plan. You do not need perfect motivation. You do not need to feel completely ready or completely confident. You do not need a perfect version of yourself to appear before you start. None of that is required. The only thing required is one small action taken today. If you want to learn English, listen to a little more English today. If you want to be healthier, do one small thing for your body today. If there is a habit you want to change, take one small step toward changing it today. You do not need to solve everything at once. You only need to move, even just a little. Stop waiting. Start today. Not because today is perfect, not because you feel ready, but because today is what you have. And what you do with it is entirely in your hands. You do not need a new life tomorrow. You need a new action today. Tomorrow is not your chance to begin. Today is. Thank you for learning with me. Come back to English on this day anytime you need a new lesson, a new idea, or just a few quiet minutes of English practice. I will be here, and so will you.